Starting first year MBBS and confused about which books to follow? Don't worry, I got you. Hi everyone, my name is Apurva. I'm currently a third year MBBS student at GMC Ratlam. In this video, I'll help you choose the right books for your first year so you don't waste your time, money, energy, or effort on the wrong ones. Now, starting on to first is gold standard books or the standard books. These are the books that your professors will ask you to read in the first place, and these are very lengthy usually, but they have a great depth of whatever the subject wants you to know. So these are the books which you refer to when you are in the beginning of the year or when you have enough time to cover all the topics, right? Then you have review books are the last minute books which are basically the notes of these gold standard books, right? So they might not have all the topics that you need, but they will cover the most important ones. Then you have the notes, which are the shortcut if you don't understand a topic or if you're like at very last moment when you just need to pass somehow. This is when you refer to the review books or the notes. So starting with the subject which has the maximum number of books you'll need, anatomy. So anatomy is divided into a lot of parts and we'll discuss it. First of all is regional anatomy. Now starting with BDC. BD Chaurasia is the holy grail of the anatomy books. If you read this, you don't need anything else. And it has more than enough text, it is well formatted, it has a lot of diagrams. Everything you can ever need is in this one book. But moving on, there is also Vishram Singh. Now, some of you might find that BDC's diagrams are, not really that easy to replicate. In that case, Vishram Singh offers a much easier, or I would say simpler diagrams. But honestly, there is not a lot of difference between the two books. More or less, they have the same content. I would say go for BDC if you can, and if you cannot, Vishram Singh, works just fine. I personally followed BDC. Now we have this. Grey's Anatomy. Unless and until your college is asking you to read this, I don't see the point. Whatever you will study in BDC would be more than enough. Grey's would be just extra knowledge, extra facts on top of this. So, for example, let's say an abdomen. If BDC tells you there are three muscles which make up the sheath, Grey's Anatomy will tell you the exact degree of orientation of these muscles which are making the sheath. But you don't really need to know that, do you? That is not like really required in the exam, so you can skip this. You don't have to follow this unless you want to follow this and you really like the subject. Moving on, we have neuroanatomy. So this was regional anatomy, right? For general or gross anatomy, you have to follow the handbook. I would recommend BDC. You don't need to read the entire thing though. So neuroanatomy, Inderbir Singh is a gem. It is very well organized. It's very easy to follow, but the only downside is it has a lot of details. So if you are in a pinch, I would not recommend you reading a whole book on the subject. But if you do have the time and if you do like the topic, go for IBS. It is more than enough. Then we have again Vishram Singh. Now the thing is, BDC fourth volume neuroanatomy, I don't think it is, good enough. It does not have enough details, plus it's very hard to follow. It's harder to understand basically the concepts from there. I did read both these books, and I by the end of time I ended up liking Inderbir Singh more. Yeah, this is also very nicely organized. You don't need to like use a lot of energy on organizing which topic goes where. Again, Vishram Singh diagrams are great to follow. You can follow either the books, just go through them first and check which format do you like the most. Then you have Snell's. Now, like Grey's Anatomy, we have Snell's Neuroanat. You don't really need it, right? Unless you really like the subject and your college is asking you specifically to read this book, you can skip it. So how I used to use Snell's was, and I use Snell's only for specific topics. So only and only diagrams. If you are, going for this book at all, I would say you don't need to. But if you want to, the diagrams, that's it. You don't need to follow the entire book. I don't think it's necessary. Moving on to the next topic, we have embryology. Now, embryology and neuroanat and the other topics I'll be discussing, you don't need to buy the book for it unless your college mandates it or you want a book, physical book. You can just get the PDF. It's not really that big of a difference. Now, we'll start with Sontake. Sontake is the gold standard in a lot of colleges. So it is very detailed. It has a lot of applied parts. The applied parts in Sontake are given very well, right? So if this is something that interests you, go for Sontake. It's more than enough. In fact, it's a lot of details, but yeah. Then again, we have Inderbir Singh. It is easy to follow. Everything is written in points, bullet points. Everything is, very well formatted. You can just copy paste all of that into your exam sheets. So this book is very easy to follow. I would say go for Inderbir Singh. Then we have Langmans. Now, Langman is a book which will make you fall in love with embryology if you give it enough chance. I used to read Langmans at first and I fell in love with it. My senior gave me the book. It is beautiful. The way things are explained, so pretty. But the only problem is it's very lengthy. You might find the text a little bit hard to follow. And there is a lot of molecular signaling and molecular aspects of things given which are not really asked in the exams ever. So you need not follow that. But if embryology is something that picks your interest, I would say start with Langman and then go for an Indian author so that you can write good enough answers for your exam. Moving on to the other resources, which is number one, surface marking and radiological anatomy. I followed this book specifically. I have the hard copy with me. It is good enough. You don't have to buy the book. You don't even have to study this alag se. You can do this with your anatomy applied parts, and this will be taught in the class either way. But if you want a little bit of extra edge, all the names of the different planes of the body, different planes of the skull, how to read x-ray, how barium swallow looks, CT or MRI findings, all of that, Dopplers. Images are very nicely given in this book, but you don't need to follow it. This is very optional. Again, moving on to optional stuff, we have Inderbir Singh's Human Histology. This is what I followed the entire year. Again, you don't need to have the book for this. You can just have the PDF, or you might not even need to read the book. But please do. The slides are given very nicely in this. And the best part about this book is everything is given point wise. So you just need to copy paste all of that into your practical answer sheet or onto your university exam answer sheet, and you'll get great marks. Moving on to Atlas. Now, Atlas is very optional, right? I'll teach you in subsequent videos how to use the Atlas and everything, but you don't have to buy it. It's very expensive. If you guys are buying it, buy it in a group or like get it from a senior. I got it from a senior. So yeah, have an Atlas PDF or something ready by your hand. You don't need to have a book Atlas. You can also have apps like BioDigital 3D Human. It's free. So yeah, this is what you need to use for visualizing things that you can't really read, and you get an idea of which structure is passing over which structure. This is great. Moving on to another subject. This is anatomy done. Now we have physiology. Physiology, you have enough books as it is, so I'll give you a brief rundown quickly. First of all, you have Hindu Purana. This is somewhat lengthy. I did not follow this book. A lot of my classmates did, and they liked it. But yeah, this is good enough. Just go through the text once, see if you like how they have written things. Then we have Sembulingam. Now, Sembulingam is somewhere between a review book and a standard book at the same time. I mean, like, it's somewhere in between. It's not either. So, Sembulingam has shorter text. So, if you are in pinch, if you don't have a lot of time to cover all your subjects, all your syllabus, Sembulingam is what you should go for. It's very last moment, it's not very detail oriented. You might not get a lot of good explanation as to why a phenomena is happening. So yeah, pick your poison. Then we have my personal favorite for the first half of the semester, AK Jain. Now AK Jain is great because again, it is very easy for your exam point of view. Everything is given very well. There are diagrams, and the beauty is everything is in bullet point and subheadings. So again, you don't need to worry about what to write in the exam as long as you know the content of this book. Moving on to the next book, GK Pal. Now, AK Jain is good enough in itself. Hindu Kurana in itself is good enough, but then you have GK Pal. Now, GK Pal is a great book, but it's very lengthy. It's very detail oriented. It has a lot of information that you don't necessarily need to know. And yeah, it's very lengthy, but it's great for writing answers. So difference between Indu Khurana, AK Jain and GK Pal would be Indu Khurana and AK Jain will tell you ki, the kidney produce erythropoietin, so the blood is produced due to erythropoietin production. GK Pal will tell you how there is a inducible hypoxic factor which is released, which then goes into some molecular pathway in the kidney, goes on to release proerythropoietin, which gets activated, and then erythropoietin is secreted, and then there is the formation of blood. You see the difference? It's only about details. You don't have to know it, but you really like the subject, I would say go for it. It's very interesting to know. Then we have Ganong. I don't know who asked you to follow this book, but you don't have to. Ganong is the book I would say if you really want to follow, if you really like the subject, go for it after you've read the standard books. Once you've read an Indian author, you know what is happening, then go for Ganong. This is not for your first reading, this is not for writing answers in your exam. This is very applied, and you can't really write answers from this book for your university exams or your sessional exams. So I would say don't follow this unless you really like the subject and you have read the text once. And you don't need to follow one book for all the topics. You may switch your books depending on how you find the topic. I would say refer to one or two books tops so that it's easier for you to refer back should you have any problems. And my personal favorite is Guyton and Hall. So Guyton is the book everyone will ask you to follow. And a lot of seniors will tell you that, don't read Guyton, you won't be able to write answers from that. I disagree, and I'll tell you why in subsequent videos. But for now, if you are referring to Guyton, I want you to refer it with an Indian author. Use all the diagrams, all the flowcharts, all the tables in this book. Copy paste it onto your answer sheets. It looks great. It's great for like answers. It has diagrams, flowcharts, and it's a great book. And especially for conceptual parts, this has a lot of good explanations to almost everything you can ever need. But the problem is this is in a paragraph format instead of bullet points, so you have to find out where is the main part of this answer, what could be used. So supplement this with an Indian author. Now, question about Southeast Asian or international edition. A lot of people wonder which one to follow. I would say there is not a lot of difference between them. The only difference between international edition and Southeast Asian was that international edition had a lot of experimental studies. This is not something you have to know or you need to know. If you are interested, go for it. But otherwise, I see no point of reading all of that. Just go with the Southeast Asian version. But I personally enjoyed reading it. It's a great book. Last and the least, biochemistry. Now, biochemistry, I am very partial towards Vasudevan. Vasudevan is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book, and it has great vertical association. So, like in the same book, they'll tell you something about related to pharmacology. They'll tell you something related to the other subjects that you will study in your upcoming years. This is a great book. If you read this, you do not need anything else. Literally, this is more than enough. Should you not like Vasudevan, we have Satyanarayan. Satyanarayan is kind of like GK Pal, but for biochemistry. It has a lot of details, it has a lot of facts, and it's followed in a lot of colleges as well. So if your college likes it, go for it. But if you have trouble with the language, we have the next book, which is Pankaja Nayak. Now, Pankaja Nayak has more or less the same contents as the last two books. The only difference is the language is comparatively easier to follow. So if you're having trouble with just the language, Pankaj Nayak has much easier way of explaining things. Go for it. But again, same content more or less. There is not a lot of changes. Moving on to the next book, we have Harper and Lippincott. So first of all, Harper and Lippincott, if you are reading Vasudevan, personally speaking, I don't think you need to do anything else. But if you really like the subject, if you want to like get a distinction or something, if that's your aim. Harper is detail oriented and it's very lengthy. I would not suggest you to follow it unless you want to. Then there's Lippincott. Lippincott again is very detail oriented. It's very lengthy. It's not something I would say that you should follow throughout the year to score well in your exams. It's just too much content right there. However, in Lippincott, molecular biochemistry is so well illustrated. There's like great diagrams, there's point-wise explanation of what is happening next. If you want to follow Lippincott for any topic, it should be molecular biochemistry, personally speaking. So yeah, that should cover all your books. We also have Dissector. Now, Cunningham, you're never going to read it, trust me, ever. Because you have too much content already. When are you going to get the time to read the Dissector? But a lot of college mandate it, So if your college is asking you to have the dissector, grab it from a senior or something, you will not be needing it. You will not be reading it even. But yeah. Okay, back to the topic. I personally used BDC throughout the year. I had Langman. Then everything IBS I followed. Inderbir Singh is great. I did follow the surface marking book and histology as well. And I did have the atlas. Then we have in physiology for the first half of the semester, I followed AK Jain. And then later, when I found that I really liked the subject, I shifted to GK Pal. Throughout the year, I was following Guyton closely, supplementing it with the Indian authors. And lastly, biochemistry, we have extra Jambulkar notes. I know a lot of you will be following this, and these are very last minute resources. It has mnemonics, it has a lot of shortened forms. It's a great resource, I would say, if you're in a pinch of time. I personally followed the notes for the entire year, and before the finals, I went through Vasudevan. And that is when I fell in love with the subject. It's a great book. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope now you have a much better idea as to what to follow for your first year, and I wish you the best.